Hello, ladies. Hello. Welcome back to BFAB. Todd. I almost forgot the name of my podcast because I haven't done it in so long. That's sad. That is really sad. But I am here today because, for one, I told myself I would start being more consistent with posting, with recording the visual podcasts for YouTube and also my audio podcasts. And I've been missing in action because what is my real reason? There's many reasons, but the main reason is just life. And I know that's not an excuse because there's so many people out here who are living life and they're doing the thing, right? Me on the other hand, I don't know. I feel like, there's different seasons in your life where you can do one thing and you can't do, the next, and, another season, that one thing that you could do, now you can't do anymore. And I feel like that's been me. I used to be able to just be able to handle like several things on my plate, but I'm realizing I can't do that and I shouldn't down myself for not being able to do that all the time. So anyways, sorry, I kind of went on the tangent, but welcome, ladies. Welcome to BFAB Todd. This is a podcast for women who have lost themselves, who are looking to find themselves, and who want to become their best fabulous self. So welcome back. If you guys haven't checked out or, you haven't listened to any of the previous episodes of BFAB Todd, I highly recommend you just go back and you listen to those when you get a free chance. Free chance when you get a spare moment. Just a disclaimer, I am who I am. You might hear me stumble over words. You may hear me mispronounce something. You may hear me put two different words together to create my own word. But that's just who I am. And I think for the longest time, I really had hiccups and like walls put up because I wanted to portray this image of my best self all the time. Because I'm like, hello, the name of the podcast is BFAB. Like I should be my best self at all times. And it's like, but I'm not my best self at all times. I am a woman. I'm a mother. I'm a wife, and I'm living life just as much as everyone else. And I think in my mind, Beyonce isn't always the Beyonce that we see out on stage with all the rhinestones and the sequins and, the high heel boots and, the snatch waist and all that. She's not that woman that we see on stage every single day either. She wakes up with no makeup on either. So I'm just going to be who I am. So just expect more content to be coming out. And like I said, it's not, things aren't going to be perfect. I'm not going to be stressing over editing like I used to, because then I wasn't getting the things out that I wanted to get out. And because of that, I'm not able to connect with you ladies the way how I want to connect with you. So with all that being said, like I said, this is a podcast for women who have lost themselves, who are looking to find themselves, and either or they want to be their best fabulous selves. Because it could be women who never lost themselves, but they just want to be their best fabulous self. If you know someone who is struggling, mainly moms, especially moms, but if you know a lady who's struggling, who has lost herself and she don't know where to begin on trying to get back to herself, send her over here, send her in my direction, because I am a woman who has been there. I didn't think I would be that woman, but I was that woman. And it's taken me a long time to get to this point where I can be open and transparent about that. And I remember the first time I actually said that out loud to a group of close friends. Let me back up. The first time I thought about saying it out loud to a group of friends terrified me. I was so scared. They're not going to understand, like these are working women. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. Like, our lives are just so much different. But when I finally worked up the courage by working on myself, first and foremost, I've been working on myself for a long time. And when I had that courage to finally open up to them, it felt so liberating and it felt good. And it just felt very awesome because some of the other moms opened up to me too. Like, they've been in the same boat, even though when, as an outsider looking in, I'm the outsider and I'm looking at their life and I'm like, they got it going on. They got, they're just running their household flawlessly. They're in their career. They're doing all this like wonderful stuff. But they're like, no, like I've had moments like that too. And one of the things that I've realized is that, especially when it comes to motherhood, some of us, it takes us longer to get out of that season than others. For some women, they may not ever enter that season. Like I just stated previously, like I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something right where they never really entered into that season, that storm of their life. But, for a lot of other women, we have. And for some of us, that storm may be passing. It's like one of those day storms, like it's thunder and lightning and everything going crazy. And one day the tornado comes and rip through the city. But then after that, like it's good. But then there might be, other women, like I feel like myself, who was trapped in that season for, I want to say like at least a couple years. So yeah, so speaking of seasons, because that's what I kind of want to get into tonight. I want to talk about seasons. And we have to accept the season that we're in and not compare it to other people's seasons. And, when you think of a season normally lasts like 3 months. It's a short period of time, right? And it lasts, 3 months? Yeah, because there's 4 seasons, right? So it lasts for 3 months. And we have to realize when you're a new mom, when you're carrying your first child, that is a completely different season than the woman whose child is about to graduate and leave the nest. Excuse me. The things that she's going through mentally, emotionally, even physically are going to be completely different than the woman who's carrying her first child. So I had on my previous podcast, season 2, episode 1, I had talked to a couple of my friends, and we were talking about this topic where one mom, she has little ones, like little ones. I think her youngest is turning 2. I think she's turning 2. And then her second to youngest is turning 5 this year. And then her oldest, I believe, is turning 8 this year. So, she has 2 little ones, like little ones. And I have my daughter who's 7. And this is how we actually met. We met because our daughters did gymnastics together. And so both of our daughters are 7, about to be 8, in 2021. So she has 2 little ones. And I remember that period of when my daughter's name is Maddie, when Maddie was 2-3 years old. And she depended on me for everything. The newborn phase is completely different than the toddler phase. The toddler phase, they're trying to establish who they are. They are, starting to speak better. They're starting to learn how to communicate with their words, but yet they still communicate with tantrums. So it's like, I understand those type of seasons. Like, the things that I can do now that my daughter is 7, I couldn't do when she was 2 or 3. And so the same thing is going, with my friend, like, yeah, she has some flexibility because her oldest daughter is older, but she's still in full on mom mode 24/7 when she's at home because she's a working mom. And I just hear, the things that she has to do, the things that she's going